Paul was in Jerusalem after his many missionary journeys, those who hated him tried to frame him and kill him. When Paul told them about his change, 40 people who hated him vowed to kill him. When the commander heard this, he sent Paul to Caesarea for his safety. Paul had not done anything to harm anyone. However, the high priest and the elders reported Paul to Felix, the governor of Judea. Paul is a plague. He has stirred up troubles in the world, rebelled against Caesar, broken Jewish laws, and defiled the temple. This was like the accusations against Jesus, who was called the King of the Jews, a breaker of laws, and a destroyer of the temple. After hearing the story, Governor Felix told Paul to refute them. Paul began to refute each of the charges against him. He said that he had only been in Jerusalem for a short time to cause a disturbance, and that he had not broken the law but had been observing it well, and that the matter concerning the temple was a misunderstanding. When Governor Felix heard the story, he knew that Paul had done nothing wrong. However, in order not to provoke the Jews, he postponed the judgment, giving Paul some freedom but keeping him in prison. And as time went by, the governor of Judea was changed to a man named Festus. The new governor Festus, at the request of the high priest and the authorities, wanted to try Paul in Jerusalem for his good relationship with the Jews. In fact, he wanted to harm Paul on the way to Jerusalem. So Paul asked to be tried by the emperor in Rome, not in Jerusalem. In this way, a new journey began for Paul. The Bible doesn't tell us what Paul said finally before the Roman emperor in the distant future. But if we look at what Paul said to Festus, the governor of Judea, and Agrippa, the king of the Jews, we can imagine what his meeting with the Roman emperor was like. Agrippa, the king of Judea, told Festus that he wanted to meet Paul. Paul told them in detail how he, a Jew, came to believe in Jesus and what Jesus had said to him. Then Governor Festus, who was listening, asked, "Paul, has your great knowledge driven you mad?" But Paul continued to preach the gospel. At first, I also did not believe in the resurrection of the dead. But Jesus appeared to me and spoke to me. Then King Agrippa said, "How many words will you say to evangelize me?" Paul continued to speak boldly to the two men. "I hope that, apart from the fact that I am in chains, you too will come to believe in Jesus, just as I have." In this way, the king and governor of Judea questioned Paul out of curiosity and to show off to the Jews. However, Paul preached the gospel with an unwavering heart. In the end, Paul had to go on a long journey to be tried by the Roman emperor again. But one thing seems to have become certain. Wherever Paul went, he thought of himself as a preacher of the gospel, not a prisoner. Through this way of thinking as he preached the gospel, God took away his fear and gave him boldness.